Yes, police. I would like to report 4 missing people. I last saw them, they like work at this fossil excavation site, I think. What do they look like? Well, they're completely naked. All 4 of them. They're always... No, not like in a weird way, like in sort of like a... Like they're friendly. They're friendly and they're naked. It's not that weird actually if you think about it. No, they're not on the loose. They are lost. They're my friends and they're naked. It's fine. Actually, you know what, officer? I think it's all gonna be okay. Today we are looking at this guy, that other guy, and... which guy? Koitsu, Soitsu, Aitsu, Doitsu. You know them, you love them, they're naked. You know, I was gonna like get naked, paint myself for this episode, but I didn't think that was a good idea. I don't have that much paint, so I decided not to, but maybe in the sequel, maybe in the Revisited. Let's talk about the cards in the deck. First of all, they are very bad. They're not great Yu-Gi-Oh cards. However, they are not as bad as you'd expect. For example, Aitsu. He seems to be very unreliable, but he might have incredible potential. Although on the other hand, Soitsu, that card is totally unreliable. And I don't even think he thinks he has incredible potential. Basically, they are an early union archetype and they power up their respective friend. So Koitsu attaches to Aitsu, gives him 3,000 attack and piercing, and Soitsu attaches to Doitsu and gives him 2,500 attack. And I don't even know like how or where they attach to each other, cheek to cheek. I don't know. The main problem is you need to get 2 on the field at the same time. And this is incredibly difficult when Koitsu and Aitsu can't be normal summoned. However, I'm happy to say that thanks to some creative deck building, the deck is playable. It is possible to play them in a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I am so excited to show it to you all today. Behold my Koitsu deck list. There is a lot going on. Let me explain. First of all, these guys are fairies. They can be special summoned out of the hand via Valhalla, special summoned from the banish pile via Miraculous Descent, and special summoned from the graveyard via Limit Reverse. They also pair well with the Heralds. I mean, they are fairies that you do not mind pitching out of your hand. And lastly, I have some macro spice sprinkled on the top. They work very well with Common Charity because 2 of them are normal monsters. And Miraculous Descent can bring back the naked man you banish. Now, let's talk about the shell because there is a lot you can do with these cards. Chaos End Master can get Koitsu or Aitsu straight out of the deck. Flamvel Fire Dog can get Aitsu out of the deck. Mother Grizzly, Giant Rat, Flying Comet Curry, and UFO Turtle can get their elemental counterparts out of the deck. However, I think the best way to play these naked men... Did I just say play these naked men? You know what? I did, and I stand by it. Is with Tethys. Tethys is incredible with these cards. Tethys lets you draw every time you draw a fairy monster, and all of these guys are fairies. Also, Common Charity gives you a way to trigger Tethys during your opponent's turn, which is so cool. I also borrowed the Vortex Trooper tech from Top Tier Gaming YGO, and it just works really well in a deck that plays a lot of extra bricks. Let's see how this deck does against the Edison Format meta. Let's get into the games. This first game, we are up against zombies, and we are going first. Our opening hand looks pretty good, but we're just going to a special summon out an Archlord Christia and pass our turn. My opponent will normal summon a Gale. They have the Christia, and then they're just going to set a couple of back row and pass back to us. We draw a Herald of Purpolite. We're going to normal summon the Vortex Trooper. We'll shuffle back 2 cards and draw 2. A Koitsu and a Doitsu. What's up, guys? It's good to see you. We're going to attack over the Gale for 100 damage, set a couple of back row, and pass our turn. My opponent's going to set a monster, set a back row, and pass to us. We draw a Hecatrice, which is not great, so we're just going to switch this Trooper to defense and then pass our turn. And then my opponent draws for turn. They're going to activate a MST on our Common Charity. However, I fear nothing. I'm just going to activate that Common Charity. We'll draw 1 card, and then this next game we are up against Dragon Turbo, and we get to go first yet again. Our opening hand does not look that great. We're just going to set this rollout and pass our turn. My opponent passes right back to us, and we draw a Soitsu, and then we're just going to set that card and pass our turn. My opponent normal summons a Drago. They go into the battle phase, clear our Soitsu, and we draw a Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Unfortunately, we cannot special out this Tethys with the Valhalla because it is a light monster. But you know what we can special out? We can special out the Koitsu because it is a fairy monster, tribute summon the Aitsu, and then activate rollout, attaching the Koitsu to the Aitsu. You know, it plays around the Drago, it attacks over. It's a great play. It's basically probably the best play I've ever done. And then my opponent's just going to activate Upstart, and then they're gone. I don't know if they left because they couldn't do anything, or if they were just incredibly afraid. But either way, we will take that Koitsu victory. Look at that victory dance on top of that paper airplane. I will take it. Now it is time for a best of 3 versus meta. My opponent is on Black Wings, and we get to go first yet again. Let's see this opening hand. It is pretty good. Can we get... Oh, no Valhalla. Dang. I like this play a lot, where you can Valhalla out the Tethys, normal summon the Vortex Trooper, and instantly trigger the Tethys on the first turn. However, we cannot do that, so we're just going to set a couple of back row and pass our turn. My opponent normal summons out the Bora. They attack us for 1,700 damage, and then they're going to set a couple of back row and pass back to us. There's the Valhalla. Not bad. We're going to activate that Valhalla because we fear nothing. We're going to special summon out the Tethys from our hand, and they are going to bottomless trap hole the Tethys. And that would be a good play if we did not have a Miraculous Descent set. Oh wait, okay, check this out. I'm pretty sure this works, but I thought I was like doing something so fancy with this. So we can chain link 1, activate the Vortex Trooper, and then chain link 2, chain the Miraculous Descent, and the chains will resolve backwards. This guy will get summoned out, then the Vortex Trooper will draw, and then we could trigger the Tethys. And that would be kind of cool. And this plays around something, I guess. But unfortunately, they do have the Icarus attack, and so it will not matter. But let me know if that play would have worked. I think it would work, but I'm not entirely sure. We're going to shuffle back 2 cards, and then we draw 2, a Doitsu and a Hecatrice, which is not great. We're going to use that Hecatrice in order to get a Valhalla to our hand, and then we are just going to pass our turn. My opponent normal summons out another bird, another Bora. They get in for another 17, but this time we get to draw a card. Herald of Orange Light is not bad. They're going to set 1 more back row and pass to us, another Hecatrice, and then we're just going to pass back to our opponent. They attack again for 1,700. We will take it, and then we draw a Miraculous Descent. This card is very good. We're going to set the Valhalla, normal summon the Hecatrice, and pass our turn. Unfortunately, he just goes to the battle phase, or actually, fortunately, that's fine. We will take that 200 damage, and then in the end phase, we're going to attempt to activate this Miraculous Descent on the Tethys. My opponent cannot do anything, so they let that go through. And in the draw phase, can we get a fairy monster? Yes, a Koitsu. We will reveal that to our opponent and draw again. And it is a Aitsu. We will reveal that to our opponent and draw 1 more. Another Aitsu. Are you kidding me? We're going to reveal that. Can we get another naked man on a paper airplane? Please. There he is, the Soitsu. Can we get another one? Yes! The Soitsu. What is happening? Can we get another one? Oh my god! What is going on? This was the top of my deck? This is really the top of my deck. We're gonna reveal that. One more, please. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. That was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And now we can play around trap cards. Incredible. And it's a fairy, so we can keep going, baby. There's a limit reverse. And you thought we were done. You actually thought we were done. Common Charity. Those are 2 fairies. We can banish a normal monster, reveal a fairy, and we're still going. And that rollout does end our draw streak, but we have a lot of cards in our hand. A Herald of Orange Light and a Herald of Purple Lights. So we're just going to go into the battle phase, and they're going to activate this Kalut, but we will Herald of Orange Light. I'm doing this so we can get those 4 fairies in the graveyard, and then in main phase 2 we can special summon out this Christia, add back the Herald of Orange Light. Just an incredible play, and they are going to activate Torrential Tribute, and then we can activate this Herald of Purple Lights. This deck is so cool. What is happening? We're just going to set a couple of back row and pass our turn. This Herald protection is not bad. They're going to activate Allure of Darkness. They draw 2, and then they're going to banish the Dark Arm Dragon. They activate Black Whirlwind, normal summon a Shura, and that is all good. They get the Kalut to their hand, and then they're going to activate Mind Control on the Christia, but then they just admit defeat because they cannot play around the Herald of Orange Light. Let's go on to game number 2. Game number 2 against the Birds, and we are going second. Let's see this opening hand. It is not bad at all, actually. Look at it. We've got Common Charity, Aitsu, Vortex Trooper, and a way to get to Valhalla. But they have Whirlwind Shura, so that is also not too bad. They're going to add the Bora to their hand, and then we draw the best card in our deck, Tethys. And this is the incredible turn 1 play I was talking about. Check this out. We can use Hecatrice to get the Valhalla, activate the Valhalla, special summon the Tethys, normal summon the Vortex Trooper, shuffling in 2 cards. And can we get a fairy? Yes, we can. That Koitsu is a fairy monster. Now we can use the Tethys. We can draw again. An Aitsu is a fairy monster. Can we go again? Okay, the Vortex Trooper is not that bad, but in the standby phase, we can activate this Common Charity. So we are going to get to draw a bit more. Check this out. Common Charity, we draw 2 cards and a fairy. We can reveal it and draw again. Can we get a Herald? An Aitsu is another fairy. We could draw again. A rollout is not a fairy. So we don't have a lot of protection, but we did get a lot of pluses. That is fine. And my opponent appears not to have anything, so they will just attack our Vortex Trooper. And here is the coolest thing about Vortex Trooper in this deck. Tethys can activate on the Vortex Trooper draw, and so we will get to trigger the Tethys yet again, and they will get a value out of their deck. So we draw a card. Unfortunately, it was the Legacy of Yadikrasu, but that's fine. They're going to special summon out a Cataster, and we draw a Hecatrice. Can we get a Herald of Orange Light? No, but a Tethys is pretty good, and a rollout. That is interesting. We're going to normal summon Vortex Trooper yet again, and we can trigger Tethys for like the 10th time this game. We draw Soitsu and the Herald we were looking for. We will reveal the Soitsu so they don't know we have the Herald. Then we draw a Hecatrice, and we can just keep going. We draw a Call of the Haunted, which is not bad at all. We're just going to set a couple of cards, go into the battle phase, and use that Herald of Orange Light that will send these guys to the graveyard. And then we pass our turn, and in the standby phase, we can draw more cards. We draw a Herald of Orange Light, and that is so good. That triggers the Tethys yet again, but now we have Herald Protection. Desperately what we needed in this situation. They're going to activate another Whirlwind. They special summon out a Dark Arm Dragon from their hand. They then normal summon the Blizzard. They think they can chain block it. Unfortunately, they don't have any more values in their deck, and so we can Herald of Orange Light that Blizzard, and then they just admit defeat. Although I don't think they were out of it yet. They're definitely not in a great situation, but they can pretty much pop our entire board, and I think restabilize, but they just decided to admit defeat there. I mean, I said they had incredible potential, and there you go. They actually kind of participated to a win condition, and that is more than I ever thought they could do. But I shouldn't have doubted them. They're clearly good at their fossil excavation job. I mean, that was a top-tier deck. But overall, there is a lot wrong with this archetype. I mean, why can't they have any protection? Why can't they attach from the graveyard? However, there's also a lot right with this archetype. I think this archetype is what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! So fun. Every kid found one of these guys in their bulk and was like, there's a naked man on a paper airplane. And then they couldn't sleep that night. And they're like, why? What is going on? why is this happening? And that is what Yu-Gi-Oh is all about. That's what it's about to me anyway. I'm gonna put this deck in the fun and cheesy tier because, oh man, it is fun and cheesy. We are summoning some of the funniest cards in the world in a deck that can win a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Although a lot of the time it's not off their naked backs, but they still contribute in a meaningful way, especially with that common charity engine. Maybe there's something you could do with the shine balls. But I think the macro show's innovation of the common charity, special summon the normal monster that you banish off of the common charity is very interesting, and maybe there is a fairy version that we could go with in the future, but I don't know if this is the best fairy version, but it's definitely the funniest. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, this was definitely a fun one. I will see you in the next one.